Introduction to Inheritance in Java. So before talking about inheritance, we're going to review uh, because inheritance is one of the uh, fundamental, it's part of one of the fundamental paradigms of software development, which is object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is discussed more in detail in OOP lecture, but just to give you a brief overview, is a programming model that organizes software design around data or objects rather than functions and logic. So this approach is important in creating modular, scalable, and maintainable code, especially in Java. So in OOP, there are four main concepts: classes, objects, encapsulation, polymorphism, and the topic of today's lecture, inheritance. So understanding these concepts will definitely help you and give you a strong foundation in not only software development, but also in Java programming. So what is inheritance? So inheritance is a powerful feature of OOP that allows you to create new classes that are built upon existing classes. So when a class inherits from another, uh, it automatically adopts its properties and methods. So you can refer to the existing class as the superclass or parent class, and the new class as the subclass or child class. This mechanism not only saves time, but also helps in creating an organized and predictable structure for our software. Types of inheritance in Java. So Java supports several types of inheritance, and they allow us to structure our programs in various ways. First one, single inheritance, is when a subclass inherits from one superclass. This will be the most common one that you will see in this class. A multi-level inheritance refers to a scenario where a subclass acts as a superclass for another class, creating a chain. And hierarchical inheritance involves multiple classes inheriting from a single superclass. It is important to note that Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes directly, but this can be achieved using interfaces, which we're going to cover in a future lecture. Why use inheritance? I'll say the main benefit of using inheritance include code reusability, and what we mean by code reusability is that you can leverage existing code without duplication, and method overriding, which allows subclasses to modify the behavior or methods inherited from the superclass, and software maintainability. So it's easier to maintain the software over time. So inheritance definitely makes it easier to do that, because changes to a superclass can automatically propagate to subclasses. So it can in some scenarios, simplify updates and bug fixes. Here is an example of implementing inheritance in Java. So the way you do it is you define a superclass as you would normally do, and then create a subclass using the extends keyword, followed by superclass name. So if we look at an example with an animal class and a dog class, we can see that dog class extends animal. This means that dog class inherits methods from animal class, and so dog class will have eat method from animal, and we are also adding a new method called bark, and this bark is only specific to the dog class. Constructor behavior in inheritance. So constructors play a unique role in inheritance. They're not inherited like methods, which means that subclass cannot directly use the superclass's constructor. However, a subclass constructor can call the superclass constructor using super. And this is really important for initialization of the object. Method overriding. This is one of the key features enabled by inheritance. So overriding basically allows a subclass to provide a specific implementation of a method that is already provided by its superclass. You may be wondering what the difference between overriding and overloading. And the difference is that first, overloading, if I were to define overloading again, it's when the method would remain in the same class but have different parameters. So overloading, the method are in the same class, but number of parameters or the type of parameters would differ. But for overriding, they're using the same method name and same parameters and the return type. So, but we are allowing a specific implementation for subclass. And this feature of overriding is really important for tailoring inherited behavior to fit the subclass's need. Conclusion and best practices. In conclusion, inheritance is a fundamental concept in Java or any programming languages that supports object-oriented programming, and these allow for significant flexibility and efficiency in your program. And one thing to keep in mind is because inheritance can often be very useful. If you overuse it, you can create complex class hierarchies. So when you use inheritance, always try to keep your code as simple and clear as possible. And remember to use the super keyword to explicitly call superclass methods and constructors, and make sure you use the override annotation to indicate that a method is meant to override a method in the superclass. So by having this, it makes your intentions clear to anyone reading your code, but also helps avoid any subtle bugs related to method signatures. Thank you, everyone.